making pizzas is not a job. It's a passion. No, pizza isn't just food. It's an art form. The baking is the crescendo that makes every sizzling part of it.
In the beginning, I thought that I was watching like something like a commercial. So when it actually cut to a new scene, that was cool because I realized that it was actually a story within a story. I liked the bantering between the two characters. It brought, like I said, a sense of humor to the story as well. The fight scene was also done exceptionally well in the bar that we see. Yeah, everything looked so realistic, and I really love the cut scenes where we're in the bar and then we cut back to like reality, and they're bantering about whether it should be a pot or a pizza pan. I think that worked really well. And yeah, it was just like the ending was also full circle because we get the 88 pizzas, and I think that was a really good payoff to the setup that we had seen earlier in the film. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film.
I loved this piece. I thought it had that perfect level of tongue-in-cheek to it, especially in that form of the story within the story question mark. It had this perfect level of sardonic wink throughout, but it was well deserved because each form and genre they dove into was done with such skill and polish and level of quality that you bought into the world and you knew that you were in good hands. If it's done where it's overly cheesy or the stunts aren't convincing, I'm usually not as able to buy into the joke, or it just doesn't pay off as well, but they did it so brilliantly. I thought the action pieces were surprising, and they always stopped us to remind us of what world we were in the creation of the story at the perfect moment, where it's like this cliffhanger. And the jokes just paid off for me. Such a panache and a heightened level of movie level sound score throughout that added to that quality level for me. I loved the ending too, because it really did keep us on our toes of which world we're in. So overall, I thought this was such a successful piece, and I want to rewatch it.
This was really fun. It was smart. It was creative. I like that we were able to kind of go inside the world of his story and how you're seeing both the real world and the storytelling world, but at the end they merge together, which is really fun. I also really appreciated the diversity in casting. The fighting scenes were really well done. It felt like an old Western almost. Over this pizza, and then, having the delivery girl come at the end and be like, oh, thanks, I'll take this. It was perfect. I think it hit all of the notes really well, all of the comedy notes, and the action points. It was all great. I really, really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was quick and very easily digestible.
It's another great film that focuses on the idea of a writer's imagination and how that can bleed into reality in really fun and unique ways. It has some great choreographed fight sequences in it, as well as some really funny and wittyful dialogue from she seems to be his girlfriend, from the girlfriend who's helping him as he's writing the story. And at the end, we have this interesting question of how much, the fictional world really does influence reality. How much does one bleed into the other? How much power do we hold as creators? And I think that's a great question to end on and not give necessarily a concrete answer, because that's something that I think only we can answer for ourselves.
I thought this one was a lot of fun, and I think that was the point here. Definitely doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's got a bit of everything. We've got kung fu, we've got cowboys, we've got pizza. It was just a lot of fun to watch. It was really well executed, shot well. A lot of the choreography was great. The performances were fine. I just think it was a fun one and is worth checking out.
Quite funny and entertaining. This is a very odd and original take on how would you fight for a pizza in a restaurant or a pizza parlor. I don't know, it was cool. The fighting sequences were amazing. It was very, very entertaining, silly, but with high quality and great performance.
Fun and flavorful film, filled with a nonsensical storyline, which is sure to entertain. The beginning was a sweet overlap of amplified sounds, coat drops, sleeve hikes, footfalls, and the masterful design of pizza narrated with a salt and pepper crack voiceover. The fight scene was well choreographed, with a lively soundtrack, which only enhances the storyline and its high energy pulse. I love the punchline at the end, and when the delivery person wins the fight and the pizza meets its maker.
And it's hilarious. It's got that spaghetti western feel to it, in addition to the story within a story with the budding writer and his muse, and then the Bruce Lee combat fights, complete with a lasso and a fork between the legs and a glass sliding down the counter into his hand and the tipping of his cowboy hat during the fight. So funny. Such a clever ending too, with the coincidental 88th pizza. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Check it out, The Last Pizza.